Hey and welcome to the Toyota GR86 guide on Laguna Seca in iRacing. I drove this combination a lot in week 13, it's a lot of fun and the track is also easier than in other cars. So when you were hesitant in the past to race here because the track can be quite challenging in other cars, then this might be your chance to finally enjoy it. And when you want, you can practice against my ghost car. I've uploaded all lap files to the community Discord, which is linked in the description down below. I'm also streaming on Twitch and available for coachings. You can find those links in the description as well. We are heading into the first turn where we want a wide entry, and that's why you want to drive with two wheels onto the runoff area. You won't receive an incident point as long as you keep the center of the car close to the white line. It will take some practice, but after a few laps you will get used to using it. You can use the 300-meter board or the white line as markers for braking, hit the brakes and shift down into second gear. Attack the first curb, and the most important thing is that you slowly want to decrease the pressure on the brakes as you are turning in. You arrive with a lot of speed and it's a downhill turn, which means that there will be a lot of pressure on your fronts. And you will notice in your first laps that the car can be quite tricky around here. But all you need to keep in mind is to not overdrive it, take it easy and release the brakes as you turn the car around the first curb. The car slows down pretty quickly when you are off the throttle, that's why you don't want to coast for too long. Get back on the throttle immediately and push the car towards the exit. Be aggressive on the throttle and attack the exit curb. It's always a good feeling when you feel this curb, because then it means that you will hit the exit without the need to lift. When you run wide here, you will probably need to lift to adjust your exit, otherwise you will run wide into the gravel. This is a crucial point, because we are heading onto a long straight and we want to carry as much speed as possible onto it. Get on the curb to get the widest entry possible and softly touch the brakes. You don't even need to brake a lot, it's more about adjusting your speed, shifting the load of the car to the front to get a bit more grip on turn in, which then makes it easier for you to follow a smooth line through the turn. Be aggressive on the throttle as you accelerate onto the straight, and while this car can take the racetrack curbs, it doesn't mean that you should attack them. When you hit them, it won't end your race like in other cars, but I would still advise you to drive around them because they will heavily unsettle your rear. Drive on the curb again to hit a wide line through the next turn and lift when you reach the end of it. You don't need a full lift, lifting by roughly 60% is enough to hit the next apex. It's not really a turn, we want to treat it like a straight, so make sure you are back on the throttle before you reach the curb. Get on the curb right away to prepare the car for the next braking zone. Hit the brakes when you reach the white line on the right side and shift down into third gear. The next turn goes uphill, which means that you don't need to brake as much as you think. The slope on the exit will naturally slow your car down, which means that you want to be aggressive on the throttle and carry a lot of speed into the turn to counter this effect. To make this work, you also want to aim for a really wide entry, and as you can see here, the 100-meter board is approaching us on the right side and I'm still on the right edge of the track. Turn in as you reach the board and prepare to get back on the throttle. We haven't even reached the curb yet, but we already want to be back on the throttle because we are hitting the slope here. As mentioned in the first turn, this car slows down pretty quickly off the throttle, and the slope makes this effect even bigger. So try to keep the tension up, step on the throttle and attack the inside curb. Use the whole track, drive onto the curb, and there's a small but very important detail. You want to shift up into fourth gear. We want to be in fourth gear on the next straight, and this is the only opportunity to make it work because we won't reach those high RPMs anymore. However, when you don't feel confident with the car or don't fully trust it, then you can stay in third gear for the next turn and use it on the next straight as well. It will cost you about 2 or 3 tenths, but losing some time is better than losing the whole race. Lift when you reach the white line, which leads to the white board on the right side, and aim for a tight run around the curb. Aim for the curb on the right hand side, use the 300 meter board as marker and hit the brakes when you reach it. You want to go hard on the brakes and shift all the way down into second gear. A common mistake here is to hit a narrow entry, but you don't need to aim for a super tight line. Position the car on the right hand side of the racing line that's drawn onto the track and prepare to turn in. Fully attack the entry curb, and it's right at the entry curb where you want to transition from the brakes to the throttle and accelerate again into the exit. And when you took care of a wide entry and attacked the inside curb, then you will always end up here right on this curb on the exit, and you can accelerate down the hill. Let the car swing to the right edge of the track. You want to get really close to the white line and prepare for the downhill left-hander. Lift when you reach the compression, use it to adjust your car and point it towards the inside curb and attack the upcoming apex. Push the car to the left edge of the track, drive on the curb and hit the brakes when you reach the 200 meter board. It's like a few turns before where the fourth gear is quicker because it allows you to carry more speed through the turn, but you are also driving on a razor's edge. So don't hesitate and shift down into third gear when you don't feel confident. The third gear gives you a bit more freedom and it costs you only about 1 or 2 tenths. Be aggressive on the throttle one last time and aim for a tight run around the raised inside curb. And this is the spot where you will notice the difference between using the fourth or the third gear. You will always have a really wide exit in the fourth gear, which is exactly what you want, but it can be really difficult to handle when you are not used to the car or the track. So as mentioned, you can use the third gear until you are confident and then transition into fourth as you keep pushing further and further to the limit. Let the car swing to the right edge of the track, get on the curb and hit the brakes when you reach the 200 meter board. Get back on the throttle before you hit the curb. And use the whole runoff area to carry as much of your speed as possible towards the line. The Cockpit Lap is coming up next. Please don't forget to leave a like and visit our Discord community. I wish you all the best for the next week and see you next time!